In our last video, we talked about solving multi-step equations. So now we're going to apply that knowledge to word problems. So at number 10 in your notes, it says, well, if 7x minus 2x is negative 35, then what does negative 3x plus 12 equal? So it seems like a lot of information, but what they want you to do is they actually want you to solve this equation for x first. I need to know the value of x. So I'm going to write that over here. So 7x minus 2x is equal to negative 35. And I'll go ahead and combine like terms. And so that gives me 5x is equal to negative 35. And put in my balance line, divide by 5. And so I get a value for x that is negative 7. So it's kind of like half of my answer. X is negative 7, but that's not what they're asking me, right? They want to know, well, what does this equation equal when we figure out what x is? So then what I would do is I'm going to take this and going to substitute it in for that negative 3x plus 12 equation. So that negative 3x plus 12. So I'm going to remove the x and replace it with negative 7. Then I'm just going to follow order of operations. So negative 3 times negative 7, well, that's 21. And 21 plus 12, well, that gives me 33. So 33 is my final answer. Then for number 11, it says the cost of renting a bike is represented by the equation y equals 4x plus 10. Okay, so why don't I actually just stop right there? And I'm going to write, let's pick a color. So I've got y is equal to 4x plus 10. And it says that y represents the total cost. So I'm just making notes here, total cost. And it says that the x represents the number of hours. So I'm just going to kind of abbreviate there. If Jan only wants to spend $60, how many hours can she ride? So if you think about, okay, well, what am I solving for? It says, well, how many hours, right? That's what we're trying to look for. Hours is x. So the x is the unknown. So then that tells me that 60, obviously, is my total cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this equation with my known. 60 for y is equal to 4x plus 10. So I can go ahead and solve for x now. And so I would begin by subtracting 10 to both sides. And that gives me 50 is equal to 4x. And then to get x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And 50 divided by 4 gives me 12.5. So at most, she can only ride for 12.5 hours. And notice I'm putting hours, I'm labeling. Always use units, always, always, always. And then in number 12, excuse me, it says Kristen went to the store to buy school supplies. The equation that models what she bought is given right here, so that 3.5n plus 0.3n p equals 15. So it tells me what n and p stand for. So below, so let's do this. So I'm still in my highlighter. Whoops. Okay, so let's try that again. So 3.5n plus 0.39p is equal to 15. And so it goes on to tell me that the n stands for the number of notebooks. This is notebooks, and p is going to be pencils. Kind of self-explanatory, I suppose. So let's see. Then it goes on to say, how many pencils can she buy if she buys 2 notebooks? So we know that she's going to buy 2 notebooks, but what we don't know is how many pencils that she can buy. So that's how we know what variable we're solving for. We're going to solve for p. So I'm going to rewrite our equation here, now knowing that she's buying 2 notebooks. So I'll do 3.5. Now n would come next, but we know she bought 2 notebooks. So we're going to place the n with 2 plus 0.39p is equal to 15. So just like any other equation, I'm going to kind of simplify it or combine like terms if I can. I can do 3.5 times 2, which I know is 7, plus 0.39p is equal to 15. Then we'll subtract 7 to both sides, and that gives me 0.39p is equal to 8. And I'll finish it off by dividing both sides by that 39 cents that each pencil costs. let's see, 8 divided by 0.39, that gives, whoa, let's see, I got a decimal. Let's try it again. 8 divided by, interesting. So it says, like when I solve that and I put that in my calculator, it gives me an irrational number, meaning a decimal that keeps going. So let's talk about that. So 20.51282. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight, this is what my calculator gave me. Obviously, I can't have that many pencils, like 20.51282, that doesn't make sense. So in real life, if I'm trying to figure out how many pencils I would buy, I'm going to round that to the nearest whole number because I can't buy half a pencil. So I could actually only buy 20 pencils and I might have some change left over.